Hi, this is Coach Laura from INMotion Fitness, and today we're going to talk about why we should stretch. Most of us know we should be doing it, but probably don't do it as much as we could. So let's first talk about how stretching plays a role in force production. So if you think of your muscles as being made up of a bunch of interlocking fibers, when we do our sport or perform any kind of exercise, your muscle fibers are going to contract. Now, if our muscle fibers are really, really tight, there's not that much capability for force production. So I have pretty close together, and I only have a little bit of room to generate force. So if I elongate the muscle fibers, now all of a sudden I have a lot more capability for force production. I can generate a lot more force, I can run longer, I can run faster, I can lift heavier, I can do more explosive type movements. So if nothing else, think of stretching as a way to help you perform better at the activities which you enjoy. So that being said, the goal of stretching is to cause a permanent elongation of your muscle fibers. What does that mean? So most of us hold a stretch, we just kind of stretch for a second and then, okay, I'm done. The problem with stretching in that way is that yes, my muscle fibers do elongate for the period of time while I'm holding the stretch, but there's no permanent elongation after the stretching subsides. So that's why we want to hold our stretches for 1 to 2 minutes. I know 2 minutes sounds a lot like a long time, but if you just pick a few stretches, things that you know that you need to work on, you're going to get the best results. So for example, if I know my hips are tight, I may spend 2, 3, even 4 minutes per side stretching those hip flexors out per day, and then spend a little bit less time on other things, like other muscles of the legs after my run that I know I need to stretch. That way we get permanent lasting elongation, which can help us generate more force. So let's take a look at how this plays into a real life scenario. So I'm going to ask my friend Dan to come here and demonstrate a squat for me. So first, Dan's going to do the squat incorrectly. So Dan has really tight hip flexors, and his hip flexors are so tight that they're inhibiting his movement pattern. So rather than moving in a biomechanically efficient way, he's going to move in an inefficient way. So his hip flexors are tight, they're pulling him way forward. Okay, go ahead and demonstrate that again for us, Dan. Nice slow motion. So his torso is way down, and you can see that there's a little stopping point when he gets halfway up. Go ahead and go down again for me. Okay, come up about halfway. Good. Now this is where the position where he should be. So he hasn't really done anything to strengthen his legs, which is the purpose of the squat. He's had to do this little back extension. Go ahead and demonstrate that back extension. There isn't really any movement in the legs. Then now all of a sudden he has a very small squat, and he isn't able to lift as heavy as he could because he isn't lifting correctly. He's not using the legs. He's not doing the purpose of the exercise. He's doing this little back extension. Now if he practices opening up his hips and his hips aren't inhibiting the way that his body moves, he's able to keep his chest up. He goes straight down. You can see his hips are dropping much lower. Now all of a sudden he can use the power and might of his legs. Dan's going to be able to squat a lot heavier weight for a lot more reps. And he's going to have less stress on his back, his spine, some of his other joints. Thanks, Dan. So if you have questions about what muscles in particular you should be stretching, feel free to contact me, and I'd be happy to give you a postural assessment and give you more information. Keep on stretching out there.